you know, the Babe is just unheralded. Really, in her lifetime, was probably the greatest athlete that ever lived, male or female. So it's about time she's here. So take it away.
So as Victor had mentioned, this is the 7th plaque I've sponsored. And when Babe became a candidate, as Victor said, it was time for her to become part of the Legacy Walk. And just, you know, I love ladies, and I love ladies that love sports, and this is an incredible story to tell. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to whomever's speaking to Babe Didrikson, and we're so excited to have her on the Legacy Walk. Thank you.
That actually is me.
Oh.
So, I worked with Dr. Susan Califf, who, at the time she wrote the first definitive biography of Babe Didrikson, she was at ULI in Champaign, and she's in San Diego now. She regrets she couldn't be here for this today. The curious thing about Babe, and she's our only bisexual this year, you know, she had a yes. Because we believe in the B and the T in the Legacy Walk. The cool thing about Babe, I think, is you know, so much of the hype around her accomplishments as an athlete was in some ways derived from her own interest in embellishing her legend, because at the time she was at her top of her game, like the most known woman athlete was Sonia Henne, you know. So here was someone who was trying to make a career in track and field, and it was pretty astounding in her time, and she was just vilified in the press in a lot of respects. And the one thing that I got really from Dr. Califf in this discussion about her was that she sacrificed so much in her life in order to just carve out a tiny space for her to have something, because she devoted her entire life to sport and to training. I was reading about her training regimen, and it was mind-boggling that she even survived training, let alone, you know, ever got good enough to compete. And the fact that sometimes a lot of the talk about Babe Didrikson gets lost in the hyperbole about her, but that she was this really, really tough person, but also incredibly vulnerable, and that she was claimed so young in life from cancer is just very, very sad. But she did meet eventually the love of her life, Betty Dodd, and they had a rather unconventional relationship because Babe was married to wrestler George Zaharias, and the three of them lived together, and Dodd and she were the couple. This a really, really unusual story. And she eventually left the world of track and field and became a golfer, and founded the Ladies Professional Golf Association, which is what she's actually most famous for now. So, but before she was that, she was an Olympian, and it's long overdue for her to be here. So I'm delighted. Okay, who's going to read the plaque? Hi. What's your name? Carlos Benitos. I'm going to hide behind the pylon.
Good afternoon. Babe Didrikson's contributions to women's competitive athletics were unprecedented. She held national Olympic and world records in track and field, led her team to 2 national championships in basketball, toured with all-male exhibition baseball teams, competed admirably in swimming, diving, and bowling, and was the largest money winner in Ladies Professional Golf Association during her lifetime. At the 1932 Olympics, she entered 3 events, the limit for women at that time, and won 2 gold medals plus a gold-silver medal in the high jump, the only one awarded in the Olympic history. Because of her androgynous look and rough manners, she was hounded by vicious press and labeled as a third sex and a muzzle-load. She loathed these charges and manipulated the media to reconstruct her image as she saw fit. Didrikson married professional wrestler George Zaharias in 1938. When she met a young golfer named Betty Dodd in 1950, she also became emotionally and physically intimate. The three lived together from 1950 to 56 in a tense, strained, and awkward liaison. A public life engineered to insulate a private one, which Didrikson and Dodd were the actual couple. Didrikson retreated from a more masculine sports of track and field to the aesthetically feminine and upper middle class world of golf. She joined with 5 other women and found the LPGA and continued to dominate the amateur and professional women's golf for 18 years, winning most major titles, including 13 consecutive tournaments in the first British Women's Amateur Championship in 1947. She was voted Associated Press Women Athlete of the Year 6 times, as well as the Woman Athlete of the Half-Century. An uncompromising competitor, she believed in winning at all costs and sacrificed her body to do so. Her greatest challenge was her fight against colon cancer, which she lost on September 27, 1956, at the age of 45, with Dodd at her side. Faith Didrikson, extraordinary combination of fierce competitiveness and unwearying discipline in the pursuit of athletic perfection, emboldened many women athletes to defy convention and redefine female athletic norms, preparing the way for Billie Jean King and Martina Navratilova, who would follow her generation later.
Hey. You guys. Welcome, Dave Didrikson. He's a legacy.
Bisexual!